with Pretty Dangerous, and this is Shama Ko. And we're going to chat a little bit about a wonderful organization called Girls and Geese. So first couple questions just for you. So introduce yourself, name, school, rank, and approximately when you started.
My name is Shama, and I started Jiu-Jitsu in 2003. I train at Gracie Micah in Austin, Texas, and I'm a two-stripe brown belt.
Nice, me too. How did you find Jiu-Jitsu, or how did Jiu-Jitsu find you?
I'd been around Jiu-Jitsu for a really long time. I had friends growing up in Hawaii that trained Jiu-Jitsu, and I remember dropping them off in high school at class and being like, all right, see you guys later. And I never really regarded it as something that I would be interested in. And I remained friends with them for a long time, and eventually one of that friends started his own academy, and he got his girlfriend training. So after about a year into training, she decided she wanted to do a women's class. And they convinced me to do kickboxing because they're like, you got to learn how to protect yourself. And I said, why? I hang out with a bunch of MMA fighters. And then they're like, well, we're not always going to be there. And I was like, all right, you're right. So they convinced me to do Muay Thai. And Muay Thai was fun, but it just wasn't something that I had an interest in competing in or going very far in. And so once she started teaching a women's class, she said, come on out, support my first class, please. And I was like, all right, I'll be a good friend. And from that point on, that was kind of my gateway into jiu-jitsu, to where it was not as intimidating, because rolling around, I've always been a tomboy, so rolling around with guys wasn't like a big intimidating factor, but I don't like being bad at something,
Right.
and I'm not good at jiu-jitsu. Like, if you ask anybody, it's taken me a really long time to get where I'm at. But so that's why Girls and Geese is so important to me, because it's giving women an opportunity to come in and try jiu-jitsu, whereas, I'm definitely one of them that probably wouldn't have tried it if it wasn't
Without
for
the
her.
women's only,
Exactly.
yeah. Nice. So tell me about your gym and your team.
I'm really fortunate. I've been training with a lot of the same partners for most of my training, or I've known them for most of their training, and it's cool because I've seen a lot of them go from white to blue to brown to black, and having a family that you have that kind of connection with and you share that journey with is something that's super awesome. And I'm not like keen on staying in Austin, Texas, but I stay because of my jiu-jitsu family, and I really want to earn my black belt under
your
my
family,
instructor and with my family. So even though I'm not like loving Austin, like, they keep me there for now.
You're powering through.
Exactly.
What impact has Jiu-Jitsu had on your life?
There's been many different phases for me. 14 years, you're talking majority of my adulthood.
Yeah.
And so there's been so many different phases. There's been phases where I went through a hard breakup, and Jiu-Jitsu became my boyfriend, and I was on the mats all the time, and I just trained all the time to kind of heal that wound. Then there was periods where I got really sick, and I couldn't train anymore. And that's when Jiu-Jitsu played a completely different role for me, where the community came together and supported me, and that having that support was, I can't even compare it to anything else. It helped me through some of the hardest times. Then there was my period as being a full-time competitor, where I was just in that I'm addicted to jiu-jitsu phase, and I'm going to work very little so that I can compete all the time. And then there was a Girls and Geese phase, and then there's also been a jiu-jitsu photographer. So through 14 years, there's been a lot of different...
You've morphed through
Very
years.
much so.
What was your most memorable Jiu-Jitsu moment?
Oh gosh.
I know.
That's
That's always the toughest question.
Wow, I don't know if I can narrow it down. There's been so many, and I think one of the most memorable that I can think of that's probably fresh in my brain is I was a purple belt for 8 years, and it was bittersweet because I'd won the pans in it. I've won, placed multiple times in the worlds, placed multiple times in the no-gi worlds with that belt, but yet it was a curse because it's like, why am I a purple belt for 8 years? And largely it was because, I injured my knee and I was out for 2 years. And being promoted or being around promotions became kind of like a stressful situation, because it's like, am I going to get called? Am I not? Am I not? And am I not? And so I kind of got used to the fact that I'm not going to get called. And my team surprised me, and they hired me to be the photographer for the boiler seminar, and they're doing promotions after, and they're like, yeah, we photographed it, and I was like, all right. And so I'm like walking around taking pictures of the promotion, and they're like, yeah, we got one more promotion, Shama, come on up. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I don't want it, I'm not ready. And I was just like, holy crap, I waited for this for 8 years, and like now I don't want it.
Wait a minute, this is a joke,
Yeah,
right?
so that was probably the most freshest, memorable moments in my head right now.
Okay, so now switching gears. Now we're going Girls and Geese. So tell me about Girls and Geese. Just kind of give me the rundown.
Girls and Geese was designed in 2009 with the concept of bringing women, bringing girls together, helping them to come into the sport or come into the art off the streets, having zero experience, bringing together the women and girls that already have been training, because jiu-jitsu has a lot of barriers that keep us apart, and a large part of it is the politics between the academies, instructors, the affiliations. So Girls and Geese comes in as this, completely unaffiliated, organization that has nothing to do with the politics and says, hey, let's just get together and have some girl time. Let's grow the art, and because women and girls females are, a minority in this sport, even now in 2017, almost 8 years later, we still are. It has helped to kind of change the dynamic, I think, of women in the sport. I think it's encouraged a lot of women and girls to come into training and come into competing, which is then giving more of a presence to women, which is helping to kind of change things.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I mean, if I were to list off all the benefits of Girls and Geese, I'd be sitting here for like hours.
Yeah.
But,
No, that's a pretty good synopsis.
Yeah.
So kind of on that route, what's the mission of Girls and Geese? I know you kind of touched on it.
Girls and Geese, the purpose and the mission has stayed intact since the beginning. It's to just keep plugging forward, and our goal right now in 2017 is to really kind of, I think we've done a phenomenal job in unifying women and girls in the art, and I think that there's always room to do more. But I think that we've earned our spot in the community and earned our recognition. And I think the next big step for us is to start taking it into a more mainstream kind of community and really reach out and say, you don't know what jiu-jitsu is, you don't know what martial arts are, come try it. And really kind of connecting with at-risk youth, women who have been sexually assaulted, have been victims of domestic violence, helping the people that really need it. So that's really our focus in 2017.
Nice. How did you become involved in Girls and Geese?
I was a participant. Ashley Freeman Nguyen, she started Girls and Geese, and she started it with the intent of what I told you, her mission. And I came in as just a participant, and there was a lot of need for structure and organization, and I love to organize things, even though I'm not very organized in my own life, but professionally I love doing it. So it was really awesome to be able to take my skills and my passions, I write, I do a lot of writing for the blog, I do all of the press communications, all the outreach, I do all the customer relations. I mean, if you order something, that's me on the other end. So it's like I take on so many different roles within Girls and Geese, but I think of it as all those horrible, crappy jobs that I've had my entire life now have a meaning, because they taught me skills that I can utilize within the organization.
Perfect. Beautiful. When will Girls and Geese be back in Florida?
We are actually here celebrating the grand opening of the chapter, so we are looking to establish an ongoing presence within the state of Florida. So we hope to have them every 3 to 4 months and host them just as we do in Texas and all the other chapters that we have. So it's hosted at a different academy, hosted by a different woman, and the standards of what it requires to be a host, you can be a blue belt or above, because another aspect of Girls and Geese is it's a leadership opportunity.
Exactly.
So it gives women an opportunity to take upon a leadership role within their community, within their, academy, and say, hey, I've always wanted to teach a class, but I've never had that opportunity. So Girls and Geese gives you that chance.
Right, and we talk about this with Pretty Dangerous all the time, that one of our missions is that we want to show these up-and-coming girls that women can be leaders in this sport.
Exactly.
We can be leaders.
Exactly.
We don't have to take a back seat to the boys all the time.
No.
We can take the leadership role. We can get out there and teach and be amazing instructors.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. What are your future plans for Girls and Geeks, like moving forward?
I want to take it on a worldwide level. I think Girls and Geese has a lot of potential. I know we have a big following in Europe. We have a very much growing following in South America as well as Asia. So I think that the point of what we had when we started was quickly realized that there's a lot of benefits in Texas, and so that's why we branched out to Colorado and to Arizona and many more. Now we're in 10 states.
Right.
So if what we can do in Texas works and it works throughout the U.S.,
Then
it
can
can work.
go
It can go
international.
anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's the next wave.
What advice would you give a smaller organization, such as, like here we have Pretty Dangerous, we got Amazonian and Jiu-Jitsu Gypsies, kind of the smaller local groups?
I think that we all work together, regardless of what name you're putting on your event when you set it up. I think that we're all working together with the same mission, and I think that women in the community need to take advantage of every single opportunity they
Absolutely.
have. When I was coming up, in 2003, there was nothing. There was nothing.
There's nothing.
And so women of today and girls of today, you have so many more opportunities. So if you're not taking advantage of them, it's on you, really. So I think that with all these organizations that are starting these, I commend you guys, because it's not easy.
No.
It's hard, and it's a lot of work, and it's a thankless job sometimes.
And you get those gym owners like, what are you doing?
And you dump a lot of money into it that's not, like, you're not getting anything back, but you do it because you love it, and you do it because there's a greater purpose, and I think just keep on doing what they're doing.
How do you feel Jiu-Jitsu enhances or changes your life off the mats? I know you're pretty integrated on the mats anymore, but
I think that there's so many different benefits. I think that people come into Jiu-Jitsu for different reasons, and then they stay for different reasons, sometimes not the same reasons that they came in to. And I know for me personally, going through like really hard times in my life, if it wasn't for the lessons that I learned on the mats and through Jiu-Jitsu, I wouldn't have been able to get through them. So I think that whether you want to say Jiu-Jitsu imitates life or life imitates Jiu-Jitsu, I think they kind of go hand in hand.
last question. So tell me something about you off the mats. So it could be like your photography or what do you do that's not
It's not
actually
Jiu-Jitsu.
Girls and Geese and that kind of stuff.
When do I have time? That's a good question. No, I'm a nature lover. I love being outside. I grew up in Hawaii, so I love the ocean. I love eating good food. I love hanging out with good friends. I have 2 cats, which are like more than enough kids than I'll ever want. And I love being outside. That's like my favorite thing to do. Is just go hiking or kayaking or rock climbing or swimming, so surfing.
Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And so this has been Badass Ladies of Jiu-Jitsu with Shama Ko. Let's roll.